From the pit of darkness to the peak of light, a call to rise. So, in the beginning, before breath, before beauty, before balance, there was a big, massive void. The earth was formless, it was empty, it was cloaked in darkness. Yet over the deep, the Spirit of God moved, and then he spoke, and light pierced the night. Order separated from chaos, heaven divided from earth, waters from land. This was the first polarity, light and darkness, and heaven and earth, life and death, obedience and rebellion. The garden was a place of peace until choice was made. Adam chose knowledge over trust. He chose self-reliance over surrender. And with that one simple act, the world was plunged into a pit of darkness. For the first time, shame took root. Fear was born. The sound of God's voice no longer drew Adam near. It drove him into hiding. And what did he do? He covered himself. He hid behind fig leaves, itchy, inadequate, and empty. And since that specific day, man has forever been hiding ever since. Hiding behind achievement, hiding behind addiction, hiding behind the illusion of control. I know this because sadly I lived it. I was a successful pastor preaching purity but plagued by pornography. Every single day I promised God never again. Every night I broke that vow. Shame suffocated me. Guilt gripped my soul. I begged God to free me or take me. Then the unthinkable. After years of struggle, my wife at the time and I finally conceived. A child was born, an answer to prayer. Then silence, stillness. I watched my wife's face crumble under the weight of the words that no parent ever wants to hear. There is no heartbeat. I blamed myself. Surely my sin had summoned this suffering. Surely my failures had forged this fate. I vowed never, ever again. But my willpower was powerless against the pull of addiction. The darkness deepened. And then, light. I learned the truth. This wasn't just a sin, it was slavery. And like any captive, I could not free myself. I needed a way out. I needed help. I took the first step. I sought help. I started walking towards the light. And as the clean days stacked up, the fog, the familiar fog that you know too well, started to lift. I found clarity, I found connection, and I found my purpose, guys. That purpose became Grace Online. A movement, a mission, a battle cry for men in the pit, pulling them back to the peak. We stand against the shadows. We call men out of isolation. We fight for families. We fight for freedom. We fight for the light. This is what we believe. That God did not create you to hide. That you were not made to cower behind fig leaves of addiction and avoidance. That your worth is not dictated by your past, but it's defined by your Creator. Here's the truth. You don't have to tell the world your story. You do not have to stand on a stage and shout out your struggles. But you do have to take the very next step. And what is that step? It's one step. It's one brother to confide in. It's one moment of vulnerability. It's one single step towards the light. Because Jesus took the ultimate step for you. Naked, exposed, bearing the full weight of sin, not hiding, but hanging on the cross. No fig leaves in that moment. No pretense. Only surrender. Only trust. And only light. And now, today, the call is absolutely clear. In this moment, this is the moment. The line is being drawn. The battle is at hand. Will you stay in the pit, or will you rise to the peak of your purpose? This is Grace Online. This is your fight. This is your call. Because condemnation was nailed to the cross and salvation was raised from the grave. join me today. Step into the light.